For a session presented by American Airlines, please welcome to the stage the Senior Vice President of Network Planning at American Airlines, Brian Znotins, in conversation with SkiftX Research Editor, Dan Marcec.
All right, Brian, welcome to the stage. And we got a couple of sessions left, but we're going to get the happy hour started early by talking about network planning. So I know everybody's favorite topic, very exciting. We got a lot of good stuff here. So Brian, what's new? What's going on?
What's new?
Yeah.
It's great to be at American right now because we're getting our airplanes delivered. We have Boeing airplanes coming, we have Airbus airplanes coming, and especially on the wide body side, where we've been a little undergrowing the industry over the last few years with delivery delays. And so earlier this year, we announced a bunch of new long-haul routes that we're really excited about. The top two would probably be Philadelphia to Prague and Budapest. We'll be the only U.S. airline flying to Budapest. We'll be one of two U.S. airlines flying to Prague. And so this complements our network. We've got almost 7,000 departures a day, 350 destinations. We've got a bunch of other new routes coming as well. We've got DFW to Buenos Aires, DFW to Zurich, DFW to Athens. We're adding Miami to Milan. And then we most recently announced JFK to Edinburgh, which complements our Philadelphia to Edinburgh service. And that JFK to Edinburgh service will be on the XLR, which we're really excited to bring into the fleet in a couple of weeks here.
That's great. So why are these strategically important for you?
They're strategically important for us because we want to continue filling out our network. It's a route, these routes are, we saw from the data that we had that customers were asking for these routes. We keep track of when someone comes onto AA.com and they're asking for a destination. If we don't fly to that destination, we want to be mindful of what that is. And Prague and Budapest were actually in the top 10 of the destinations customers were searching for on AA.com that we didn't actually fly to. And so for us, we partnered that with our alliance data where we work with Iberia and BA, among others, and seeing the number of customers that are either buying tickets or redeeming miles to Prague and Budapest. We see that in the top 10 as well. And then finally, one other thing we learned is that there were a number of customers who were buying tickets into Prague and then flying out of Budapest or vice versa. About 25% of the tickets we were selling were doing that open jaw routing, for those familiar with the term in the industry. So we're making sure we price it in a way that allows for those open jaws in the future as well. So it's, being able to build out the network is something that we're really excited about. And DFW Buenos Aires, for example, is a route that we're adding for FIFA. We've got DFW to Athens. Athens can do no wrong these days. Everybody is going to Greece and Italy. And then Miami, Milan, all these great routes that we're adding we're really excited about.
It's great. I hope everybody's head is spinning a little spider map like I'm seeing in mine as he's talking about all these different routes. Super exciting. So you talked a little bit about the customer demand. I think that's really interesting, and obviously seems like the right way to go about it in terms of looking at your customer searches and their activities and things like that. Overall, though, what does this say about the strength of the business for American now, and also kind of looking toward the immediate future as you add these routes? How does it help you kind of expand where you want to expand?
So this data has been really important to help us expand there. We've got a great presence here in DFW in the Fort Worth area. We're a Fort Worth-based based company. We employ 38,000 employees in the DFW area. We're actually the largest employer in North Texas. And we're really vital to the U.S., the economy here in Texas as well. We have a number of investments that we make. We invest $4 billion a year in aircraft and airports. It's something that is really important to us, and it creates a symbiotic relationship here with the city, because when companies are looking to relocate to a particular region, either from where they are, whether they're looking to start up, air service is really important for them. They want to be able to get their employees to where they want to go as efficiently as possible. And at DFW, we serve more destinations than any other airline in the world that isn't based in Turkey. We serve over 250 destinations nonstop out of DFW. And so for a company coming here, having that level of service and that level of frequency in the places they want to go, it becomes really attractive as a metroplex for them to relocate here. And so that benefits the metroplex and the economy here, but it also benefits American Airlines, because once they relocate here, it creates this virtual cycle of business travelers here looking to fly, and we'll add more service to serve these passengers, and that will allow us to continue to grow and make DFW the leading airline hub in the Americas.
Yeah, that's great. So you touched on it a little bit at the top, but it's the most exciting part of the day, the talk. We've heard all about these new planes. So we've got some images, if we can pull these up, and I'd love you to talk through them. Ultimately, how are these new planes supporting your ability to grow?
So the new planes are fantastic. We've talked a lot about the 787P in our fleet coming in. It's getting rave reviews from our customers. It's a whole new product we put on board, both premium economy, the business class, and coach, all a new product for us on board the airplane. And already with 10 airplanes in the fleet, we're getting our 11th shortly here. It's getting the highest customer satisfaction scores, NPS scores, that we see among our entire wide-body fleet. So from a customer perspective, it's really great to have an industry-leading product flying in our network. But from a network nerd point of view, from a network planner point of view, we love having a great product on board. But what we really get excited about is having the right mix of business class, premium economy, and coach seats. And so if you look at American Airlines fleet today, we tend to over-index on coach versus some of our competitors and under-index on flatbeds. And with the shift to premium demand and premium travel, both in premium economy and in business, we haven't been able to capitalize on that as much as our other airlines have. And so it's Christmas time, so if you don't mind me borrowing an analogy from my favorite Christmas movie, it's like John McClane saying, "Now I have a machine gun, ho, ho, ho." And so for our competitors, this 787P is like our machine gun. It's our new weapon. People should be, expecting us to be adding more flying, because what we see is not only is it the highest NPS score in our fleet, but it's also the most profitable wide body we have in our fleet. And again, it's just getting into the market. And so normally when you're adding new planes to the market, they come in at a lower marginal profitability than your existing airplanes. But these ones, they're configured so well that it has us looking at the long-haul franchise differently than we ever have before, and makes us excited for this growth. And being excited for growth means ultimately ordering more airplanes and reconfiguring airplanes. We've got 777-300s right now that are going into the shop to be reconfigured with 70 flatbed seats and over 40 premium economy seats. And we're not losing any coach seats with that reconfiguration. So we're using more efficiently the real estate on board the airplane. And that's going to be much more profitable for us. And again, it becomes a virtuous cycle, much like I talked about in DFW, how attracting more business means more air travel, where air service growth, which means attracting more business. Much like here, as we add more premium demand, we get more premium revenue, the routes are more successful, and we want to buy more airplanes and continue to grow with these premium airplanes. And then finally, we have the XLR coming. We have an event next week in New York where we're going to showcase the airplane. We have the first one on property, first couple on property actually right now. They'll start flying on the 18th on Transcon. And bringing those airplanes in is really great as well, because it'll allow us to serve different types of destinations.
That's great. So I have two comments related to your answer. One is I saw this joke headline that said, "Here's a list of 30 movies you can say are Christmas movies so you can avoid developing a personality." So if no one understands the Die Hard reference and the argument about that being a Christmas movie, that's
absolutely, it's my favorite Christmas movie.
There you go.
Not just a Christmas movie.
The second thing is actually, can we pull that first picture up again? I just wanted to make a comment. I really love the brown and the blue design. That looks really nice. Yeah. But really, the reason I wanted to pull it up, I wanted to ask you which plane this is and where it's flying, because personally, as a consumer, although I live in Atlanta, so I have to fly a airline that rhymes with Smelta, but and I love it. Don't get me wrong. But I want to imagine myself on this plane going somewhere because it looks so beautiful.
So we've got we put the first airplanes into O'Hare Heathrow. O'Hare Heathrow is the world's largest. Sorry, not O'Hare Heathrow. Heathrow to the U.S. is the world's largest premium travel market. And so obviously when you've got an airplane with great premium seats and a high number of them, 51 on this particular configuration, you want to put them in the biggest premium travel market. So we converted O'Hare Heathrow first. We've since converted Philadelphia to Heathrow as well. And then for the winter season, we saw a lot of premium demand. One thing we do in Network is we measure the fare multiple that customers pay for a flatbed seat or a premium economy seat versus coach. And where we see those highest fare multiples are where you want to redirect your airplanes with the highest premium cabin capacity. And we saw that in DFW Brisbane and DFW to Auckland. I was going to say Athens. So those two routes are going to the P for the winter as well. So we'll have the two Heathrows, Philadelphia and O'Hare markets converted. We'll have DFW Brisbane, DFW Athens. And then when the Brisbane and Athens go away for the season, we'll start putting the airplanes back into more Heathrows as well. Both Philadelphia will convert for the summer, continue to be there. DFW will see a trip go, and then we'll probably have a trip in JFK as well.
Well, you mentioned the opportunities here at DFW, and we've talked a lot about international. Let's talk about domestic routes. What's going on there, and what are you excited about?
Well, we have a really strong domestic network. We're really enthusiastic about having the best domestic network, really, and it's not as sexy as adding an Athens or a Brisbane or an Auckland in your route network, and that we're really excited about from network planning. But ultimately, we're looking to get people to where they want to go as efficiently as possible, and that's about filling out frequencies to either new nonstops to our hubs, adding times of day that serve the market better. We were just before we're talking about Bentonville, Arkansas, where American's the leading airline there. And we're really happy to be able to serve customers either related to Walmart or Walmart employees themselves, getting to wherever they need to go and having that schedule advantage in the Bentonvilles and the Tucsons and the Indianapolises is what most of the travel actually is driven by. And it may not be as sexy as Athens, but I consider it to be pretty exciting when I can get someone home for their kid's soccer game, or maybe they can fly the morning of their meeting instead of having to go the night before and have dinner with their family. These are the kinds of things that are important to me when I'm flying on business. Sure, on vacation, I want to go to really cool places. We've got that in our network, but for the 9 trips out of 10 where I'm just going somewhere in the US for a business meeting, I just want to get there as efficiently as possible, get home for something that's important to me, and we think American Airlines does that better than anybody else.
Yeah, that's great. There was a chart in one of the earlier talks that showed the percentage of unique routes that each airline had. I just found that really fascinating. It's more comment than anything, but it speaks exactly to what you're talking about. The ability to serve your particular customer because it goes to a certain place. And obviously, being here in DFW, big market, lots of people, go in lots of places. So I got 2 related questions. The first one is, what are you most excited about kind of at American Airlines coming up?
Well,
that you can talk about.
It's a little bit, what we can talk about. Obviously, we've got a cadre of new destinations we're already working on for 2027. But right now, the thing that's really on the mind is FIFA. With the World Cup coming, American Airlines is the U.S. sponsor for the World Cup. And again, for the network nerds that are listening, it's kind of neat to have employees in your organization whose job it is to watch sports. Because I'll use the Super Bowl as an example. When you're looking at the AFC and the NFC championship games, we've got 2 sets of schedules built for getting fans to the Super Bowl, but we don't know who's going to win the game. And so they're built, they're published, they're just suppressed, and then when we see who the team wins the game, we unsuppress the one set of flights and leave the other suppressed, and we get those flights out selling right away. So, it's and we're going to do that for FIFA as well. So on a elimination match basis, we're going to have a lot of people based in DFW. That's the media center for the U.S. And when the elimination rounds happen and customers want to be able to get to wherever their teams are playing, we're holding a number of airplanes in reserve, and we'll have schedules ready to go that just pop up right after the match has been played, and you know who's going where, and customers will be able to buy those tickets and go there. And that's on the short haul side. On the long haul side, I talked about DFW to Zurich already. But that is a FIFA-specific flight for us. For those of you who don't know, FIFA is based in Zurich, and they have a number of business travelers that are coming to the U.S. for obvious reasons next summer. And we think that bringing them to DFW, which is the media hub, will be a great nonstop option for them. But furthermore, basing themselves in DFW and being able to move about the country, it's centrally located. Again, we have 250 destinations we serve nonstop from DFW, multiple frequencies a day, 930 flights a day. We fly to DFW. We'd be able to get them where they want to go, and they'll be able to use that as a base of operations. And then from a fan perspective, we started DFW Buenos Aires, again, for FIFA. We already serve that well to Miami. Miami has great connections, but it isn't the monster that DFW is in terms of connectivity and service. And so Argentinians are one of the highest propensity for travel for the World Cup. We saw that working with FIFA and the data for Qatar. A number of Argentinians went all the way to the Middle East to go and see the match, and we think getting to the U.S. is going to be much easier, and we'll have many more coming here. And so we put that flight in. So I know it's very specific and anecdotal, but the team's really excited about our partnership here and the ability, we network planners, we take a lot of enjoyment out of getting people places quickly, efficiently, and nonstop whenever we can. And this is going to be a whole boatload of that.
Well, yeah, and that's super interesting in terms of the fact that it's this major event, and I'm sure it is exciting. Obviously, you're very excited about your day-to-day job, which is excellent. But when you get the opportunity to do something a little bit different, that's really exciting too. So, the other related question is, and you can answer this from a personal standpoint, what are you most excited about in network planning kind of in the future? What are the opportunities out there that you're kind of looking toward as you look to the future over the next 5, 10 years?
Well, really, network planners, we really get excited about growth because that in the network world, making our schedules better is what we're always looking to do. Time of day, frequency additions, new destinations, schedule quality is really important to us. And it's much like pizza. We're an airline. We need to have the very best, tastiest pizza in the world. But if we don't deliver it, on time and it's consistently 2 hours late, nobody's going to want to buy it. And so in my world, we're part of the equation where we're trying to get the very best schedule built, but we try to do it in a way that gives the operation an opportunity for success. And so we work closely with the operation to do that. And so American Airlines is going to be growing where we've got our first quarter schedules published. You see that out there right now. We're going to be growing the first quarter on a year-over-year basis, competitive with the industry, and if not leading the industry. And that's something that network planners get excited about, because when we're competing for customers, when someone says that I chose you, not only because you have great customer service or you have a reliable product, but you got me home for my kid's soccer game, and that's really what I wanted to do. So growth is something that network planners get excited about. Having new 787s coming, having new 321 XLRs coming, a ton of Maxes, Neos, and E175s. It's really more tools in the toolbox to make our product better and something that we can be proud of.
That's excellent. Well, Brian, thanks for the time.
Dan.
Appreciate it. And everybody, have a great rest of your day.